Hey there, sports fans. We're back. It's another episode of Dinner with the Captain. I'm John Dinner, and I'm here with, as always, Captain Steve Priolo, captain of your National Lacrosse League, Buffalo Bandits, three-time NLL champions, and I think well and truly the hottest team in the NLL now, 4 games in a row.
Yeah, we're rising from the dead.
Did you feel like the hottest team in the NLL with about 7 minutes to go in that fourth quarter?
Yes and no. It's like you know, you don't feel like you're playing well, but you at this point in the season, like we don't feel like we're out of any game, right? So, and that's the mentality we had.
And so big victory in out in San Diego, a come from behind victory, and that sort of seemed to be the theme of the week in the NLL this year. There's some big comebacks that were, I mean, almost historic in nature. But the only one that came through was your guys over the San Diego Seals. There are a couple big attempts at big comebacks out in down in Georgia with Halifax, and then Rochester trying to get back at the Dogs on their home floor and just couldn't quite pull it together. So you fly out to sunny San Diego. How was the travel and everybody arriving in good spirits?
Yeah, it was beautiful. The travel sucked. There was like ice rain delays and like,
yeah, sure.
Oh man, just. Yeah, I think I figured I was awake for almost 20 hours, 21 hours sort of thing.
Wow. Just
going there. Like we traveled so I left here at 4:30 in the morning. We got to the airport, then we got delayed for like 2 hours because of the ice rain. By the time we got in, when our flight landed, we went straight to practice. So at this point I hadn't like eaten anything.
Sure.
And then after practice I went and got some couple quick tacos, and then on the way to dinner, and then went to dinner, and like buddy, it was like 7:30 and I was like, I could just crawl into bed right now. I didn't. I stayed awake long enough just to like sort of get a normal rhythm. But
sure,
dude, the practice facility down there is sick. It's all like outdoors and yeah, right by like there's this nice little, not mountains, but like good cliffside sort of thing. And the sun was up and we all just had helmet and gloves and no shirts on and just baking in the sun. Like it was probably 40 degrees and we're just running around, no shirts.
and so does that attract attention? Like are there people walking by and checking it out, or is it kind of still a bit secluded?
It's a little bit secluded. It's kind of like down this hill, and then there's like a baseball field and a soccer field, but there wasn't really much else going on. There was some attention though, just like there was like camera people around, people taking pictures and stuff. But I didn't know who they were. But yeah, dude, it was sweet. So yeah, lots of sun, no sleep to start the trip.
And so does that explain sort of the first 3 quarters of that lacrosse game, like a little bit of not a lot of sleep, and then practices maybe a little bit just kind of enjoying the moment? And again, I don't how often do you guys practice tarps off?
I never, because it's minus 30 all the time here. But no, I don't know if it did or not, because like you said, like we were talking earlier, we didn't play bad to start, but we threw the ball away a lot. So it seemed like just those turnovers, constant turnovers. It was like, the first 5 minutes I was on the floor. I'm like, we might not get out of our end at all. Like the entire game might be down here.
And so how much was that attributed to because you had mentioned it, that was their style, right?
Yeah.
They're a pressure team.
They
got guys that can just run up and down that floor constantly. Yeah. Was that just them then taking advantage of you guys not being sharp, or are you guys just not necessarily being really truly prepared for what that full court means?
Couple things. Yeah, a couple. Like we knew the pressure was coming. We obviously did video on it, so we knew Courier stayed. We knew the second guy steps up, and then we know that their bench steps up to take away. Like we would send Dane off the bench usually. He'd come back to the ball to get it. They would have somebody closing that gap and taking that pass away. We knew we normally run in pairs, so like one guy goes forward, one guy sort of back. We tried to run in like threes, and then we realized it was kind of just clogging up the middle. Like we needed to get the ball to the middle, but it needed to get into an offensive guy's stick. So we went back to running in pairs. So it'd be in the first and third, the right side, the lefties, the right side of the floor would get off, and then Dane would come like back to the middle. We'd get it to like him or Bucky or Dahoka or whatever, and then move up as a unit of 3. So you're sort of stay in that triangle. The issue with that though is that now the front defenseman, the guy that's like the lead defenseman that's way up the floor, he's got a long way to change. So our offense wasn't really getting the ball until like 15 seconds on the shot clock or even later sometimes. So they were successful obviously in the first, not as successful in the fourth, and then the second and third they it's a little harder for them to pressure just the way the benches are. So we were able to break it in the second and third, or the second and fourth a little bit better.
Yeah, and so I mean, it did seem a little helter-skelter to start the game, and I mean,
even our easy passes were like over each other's heads.
But I also add, like, the whistle seemed to be out a lot. A lot of penalties in that first quarter, a few less in that second quarter, but even still, like, so how much does that go and affect the flow of the game?
Oh, dude, it's
like it seemed like both sides were equally frustrated.
It's not an unfairness thing. I think the refs, their job is to just manage the game and to keep things, as fair as possible. So I'm not saying that it was like on the refs, but like it was crushing the flow of the game, and it seemed like sort of ticky-tack fouls, right? Or ticky-tack like penalties where my double minor, I'm sitting there, I get the slashing.
Like the first penalty.
The first penalty, I get it. But it's also like he's got the ball. It's on his arms. Like, what are we doing here? And then he says, "Oh, he brushed his head." I'm like, "Yeah, brushed." But like, okay, whatever. I get the slashing penalty.
Sure, okay.
I didn't make an argument for it. And then they're like, "You get another one." And I'm like, for the going in the pile up, I'm like, their guy pushed Paulie. Paulie pushed him back. Courier went in and grabbed him. So now I get one for pushing the third man in. I'm the fourth guy in.
Yeah.
It should be third and fourth, or neither.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing? And then they get one.
But even if you were the third one in, and from their perspective, it didn't end there, right? Like,
no, there's pushing and shoving everywhere. You just pulled me out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Which I guess ultimately sort of is better, because if they would have pulled one of our other guys out, we would be on a 5-on-3.
Right. Yeah. No. And again, I think it's also then establishes that, like, we're not going to have these scrums anymore tonight, boys.
And then
one of you's going to go.
Leclerc did like sort of the same thing like a minute or two after my penalty, and he gets one. And Westberg goes over and talks to the ref, and he's like, "Come on!" Like with the Leclerc one, he's like, he's just running and pushes him or whatever. I'm like, Bergie, I just got one for pushing Courier in a pileup of 6 people. He's like, yeah, good point. And I think the refs needed to hear that sort of, because they didn't respond, and they just knew that, like, hey, like we're not dirtying each other out here. We're just this is a do or die for kind of both of us.
Yeah.
Like this is dude, Connor Robinson, he would come off the bench in the first and third. He would come off the bench, go down the righty side, so the left side of the floor for him, and he would come straight across the floor and just beasting you in the thigh, like so low. His picks were on your thigh every single time, right on your IT band. First play of the game, he just smashes me right in my quad. The biggest Charlie horse I've ever had in my life. So the rest of the game couldn't run.
Yeah.
I just could, like, so much for breaking out. Like, I can't run right now. My legs swelled up. It looked like there was a football on the side of my leg.
So worse bruises than from 2 weeks ago when you soaked those shots.
Man, like my legs are just black and blue right now. But what the trainers did was they just wrapped my leg in like tape just to keep the swelling down, because as it was swelling more and more and more, I just couldn't bend my leg. It was like just this peg leg, and they just
while on the bench, they
just wrapped it, and so like, yes, my Charlie horse is now like less inflamed, but it still hurts, and I can't bend my leg because I got friggin' tape all over it. I'm like, what a nightmare. We're 3 minutes into the game. I'm like, this is gonna be a long game, but that's just lacrosse. We just figured out.
And so, I mean, did it feel like a long game when you think, like, okay, get to the halftime, you guys have only put up 2 goals? I mean, they've only scored 6, but and then you look up and you get through the third quarter, and wow, we've only scored 3 goals, and all 3 on the power play. Like, what was? I mean, I know at the beginning they were pressuring you, but you seemed to settle down into it. Were they doing something that, like, or were you guys not adjusting again? Because you talked about 2 weeks ago, like JT's video sessions, and kind of had it nailed down. Did they do something, throw something different at the offense, or?
They're honestly a good. They're really good at cutting. They're a bunch of like midfielders, almost field lacrosse midfielders, right? So like, Danny Logan, like just him being able to cover Josh and Dane in the full field is, he's maybe the only guy in the league that can do that.
Right.
So it allows them to push out. Like when Toronto used to push out pretty far on the boards on Dane and Josh, like they would just create 2-on-1s all over the place.
Right, you had 3 other guys that could beat their their
exactly.
defenders.
So there's 2-on-1s all over. So like these guys are pretty good covering in full floor pressure. So honestly though, man, like I feel like our team we are able to like continually get better as the game goes on. And it didn't show in the first half of the season, but we were in a lot of those games. We just weren't able to find ways to win. And now we're able to find those ways to win. And it's like, I don't know how, if you feel about this, but like if I'm doing like a long hike or if I'm doing like a workout or whatever, like the first like 5 minutes of my hike or my workout, I'm like, oh my God, I'm sore. I'm tired. My calves are burning.
Sure.
Like there's no way I'm going to make this 4-hour journey or whatever. Right. And then, 20 minutes goes by, an hour goes by, 2 hours goes by, and your body feels the exact same it did at the beginning of the game or at the beginning of the hike.
Right.
So like your calves are still burning, but not any more or less than they were
5 minutes in.
5 minutes in.
Yep.
And I feel like our team is like that a lot too, where it's like the first 5 minutes are just like almost like growing pains. Like what the hell is going on around us? And it's like, it takes us a bit to settle in and like now everything's sore. We finally have our heart rates up. We finally have all these things going. And then like the next 3 quarters are always usually figured out. Right. I don't know. It's just like, I was thinking about that the other day when I was on that hike where I'm like, man, like I'm not going to be able to make this friggin' thing. I'm almost the last time
I've got all these big plans.
I'm like, I'm so sore from traveling. Like freaking Charlie horse hurts so much. Like I can't even walk 10 feet. And then you're just like, you just keep going. And you're like, oh, it feels the exact same. I just never, it never felt bad at all. And it's.
Well, and so, I mean, and did you guys feel like, I mean, obviously we talked just before, like the 8-5 goal, Joey Rez's goal, like it seemed to be a play that they had tried to throw a few times to him and to Bucky. And it sort of seemed to finally connect and they scored, obviously. Was there a feeling before that? Because that got the goal. That was the start of then you guys scored 3 more to tie it and then scored in the overtime. But before that, did you guys feel like you were on the verge of taking these guys?
Not then. 8-4 was like, we have to get 8-4 was the turning point.
Yeah.
If they scored it, it was over. If we scored it, we gave ourselves a chance.
Sure.
Right. So it was like, I remember saying to Snoozy, like, hey, a training goal will go a long way right now just to like get everybody sort of settled. I don't think we didn't score a training goal out of that, but it was like,
no, it was Joey Rez scored at 8-5.
He made it 8-5, and then Clay and Tehoka
both doing like kind of what they do.
Oh,
like
beautiful. And they're like 6. Oh, that 6-on-5s though, right? And it was like, I think Tehoka's was his the tying goal.
No, Dane's was the tying goal. Dane scored the last
Dane
2.
Scored the last 2. Yeah,
both the bouncers.
Yeah. So I remember on the bench it was like, okay, the next one we're pulling V, and then so as we go out there, running on the floor, we have to like tell him, hey, this time up, you're coming. And then Tehoka scored that goal, and then Connor Farrell won that face-off, and we got the timeout out of that, which was incredible, man. But Trevor Baptiste is like, he's probably
one of the all-time greats.
One of the all-time greats. It's like him, Withers, like I don't know. You'd even throw Farrell in that too. It's like, these are the best face-off guys in the league, and Farrell just won the most important face-off of the game.
And so clean, right? Like
so clean.
Which was
like, where the hell was that all game?
Well, I mean, he had actually won a couple. Dude, like that. Like they were for a while. They were just like a couple of bulls pushing on each other.
I think he won more than we were able to secure.
Right.
So like he won the face-off, but Curry was able to get in there and get the ball, or somebody else got the ball. So it's like, okay, Baptiste gets the win for it. I think it was like 14-8 Baptiste.
Yeah.
But like.
But 2 or 3 were really clearly clean for Farrell, then again that one was so incredibly important. Yeah. But through the game, I mean, obviously you're a defense and you're looking up, and you guys are, I mean, you're holding them and everything's going great. But they scored that 8th goal, and it looked like Vino was a little testy with you.
Oh my God, as he should be.
So I mean, like, does that sense of like frustration, is it simply just that one play, or is it also like, because again, you look up and it's like, oh, it's only 8 goals, man. If we only let in 8 goals all season, then we're going to win more games. And even with 7 or 8 minutes left in a game, if you're at 8 goals, you guys feel like you've got to be feeling pretty good. Mm-hmm. But because it's 8-4, like, is that part of it? And does then that sense of frustration like come from the defense and go up to the offense, or
it's because it was 7-3, right?
Yeah.
And then I think did we score the next one to make it? Yeah,
Yeah.
we scored 7-4.
4, yeah.
So it was like, okay, like if our
No.
comeback's going to happen, it's going to be now. And then
Right.
they got the next one, that 8-4. And it was like, oh, that's where I think that frustration comes from, is like, how are we going to mount a comeback if they just keep responding to it every time we
Sure.
score?
You
they
just keep
score?
letting them step down.
Dude, that was that was exactly it, right? He's like, no step downs, no step downs. I'm like, buddy, our number one rule on this team is no ISO. So you're checking to see which way to push this guy.
Yeah.
Courier's all about going to the net all the time, and he just rifles one off the it was actually such a great shot.
It was a very good shot. There's no doubt, and he had a great game.
Yeah, and that's what I said to Vino. I was just went over. I was like, my bad. Like, what do you want me to do? Like, I'm a foot away from him. He shoots it inside. Like, I gotta be out a little bit more.
Yeah.
Right. But it's like to go out and pressure him at that spot with no help anywhere.
Right.
Is like, it kind of
Also
puts you in a bind, right? You're
yeah. Kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. And in that moment, right, that's what separates some of the great players, right? We talk about Dane. He just needs just that little sliver of time to get his hands free. He just like, oh, I saw the hesitation from the defenseman, fire it in.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what, again, I mean, 90% of the players playing the game, and probably 99% of the players playing the game anywhere, don't take that advantage of that split second. But that's what makes great players great players.
Yeah. Good.
So then you get to overtime.
Yeah.
I mean, there's got to be that sort of, there's that double-edged sword. Like, yeah, we got here, but if we lose now, it was all for nothing.
Well,
or did you just feel like we got here and now it's our game because we were fighting the clock and we just needed to get that tie?
No. We had to. It's all for nothing if you don't win it, right?
Yeah.
But I remember just before we got to overtime, they got the ball and they had their 6-on-5.
Yeah.
And all I'm thinking the whole time is no step downs from Courier. So so I'm yelling at Spanger. I'm like, so he's going under the pick whatever way, and so he'd be like, shooter left side.
Yeah.
He's a righty, so he'd play left side and D. And I'm like, whatever you got to do, go under the pick, wherever the pick's coming from, go under and get to Courier. I'm like, I'll worry about Robinson or wherever he floats after that. And then Snoozio started giving him other information, but I was like, this is going to end up in Courier's stick. I know it. Like, it's just where it's just
game's going, and
where he's like the fourth option out there, but it's like it always ends up in his stick. And last year he scored the overtime game winner during the season against us, right? So I was like, it's going to go back to him. He just fired that one on me. So then I was like, the rotation was beautiful, and Spanger jumped, and he got a stick on Courier, and that ball went into the corner, and we were able to like kill.
Oh,
the
that
rest
wasn't
of the
you
clock.
getting the stick on. I thought that was you that got the stick on that 6-on-5.
No, it would have been. It was
him.
Spanger, and because I was sliding to Robinson.
Sure.
And then but it was dude, it was. Thank God he didn't shoot that.
But again, and then so you guys are feeling pretty good about getting to overtime. Like, I mean, obviously this game it worked out and you guys got it, but do you feel like the team that makes the comeback that gets you to overtime, do they have the advantage?
Yeah, probably.
Because I mean, we've talked that momentum is such a big thing in lacrosse, but there's a bit of a break. But you guys have got to be feeling like, all right, and they've got to be feeling like, what did we just let them score 4 goals in 5 minutes?
Yeah. I don't. Did they score in the fourth quarter?
They did. Yeah, that 8. I'll pull it up here for you. They scored at to make it that 8.
The eighth goal. The 8th goal was in the fourth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. We were cruising, man. We felt good on defense, and we felt like they were not that they were getting. Well, we felt that they were getting tired, and they couldn't pressure us anymore, or they were just trying to like not give up any transition against. Maybe we had been breaking it pretty good, but like,
So McIntosh scored. Oh wait.
Yeah. Ben McIntosh.
Matt. Yeah. So then what was the Courier? Oh, so the Courier goal was made it 7-3.
That made it 7-3. Yeah.
7-3. Sorry, I thought that was the 8-4 goal.
Yeah.
So Burns scored to make it 7-4, and then they came back a couple minutes later.
The McIntosh over top.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah. And then then Joey Resetarits scored and then Scanlon again being a bit of that magic man. Like, man, that guy's got hands around the net. It's pretty crazy. Like
he fakes himself out sometimes.
A little bit, right?
Like, put it in the net, Scan.
just score. And then Nanakoke doing what he does again. That was a 6-on-5, and then Dane coming down and scoring the bouncer to tie it. And you guys go in, and like you said, they still had one more chance, right?
Yeah.
And you guys stuffed it, and so that's got to even just build things and feel pretty good going from there, right?
Yeah. It's like you just feel like you're on point, right? But we lost these guys before in overtime, right? So it's like, before last year was Courier sent them to overtime, and I remember it was West Berg that on the up pick and roll to the far side to win it. And so we were all over that. We were saying like they're going to be looking to play a 2-man game, get Bergie inside, just sort of out of those reminders from before. But we were pretty locked down, man, in overtime. That was probably the best defense we played all game was those, like, whatever it was, 5 minutes overtime.
Yeah, and that, it was so almost exactly 4 minutes. Excuse me. 4 minutes of overtime. What is that like? Like, do you ever settle in overtime? Like, settle into because every shift, every shot has a chance to end the game.
Yeah.
Like, so is there ever a moment where you're just kind of in the rhythm of it? Like,
no, it's so like not nerve-wracking, but you're just so focused. Like after each play, like
you must hate going off the floor.
Yeah, you go off, but you love going off, but I didn't take a single shift off. Like there was like, I think 3 or 4 of us that were like, we come off and Chugger was like, be honest with me, can you go? I'm like, I can go. This is why I push myself in the gym and I'm, get that burn, because in these situations you have to be able to go. Like,
see, now you're stealing my questions. We're gonna bring that together, right? Because you talked about it right in the last episode, where you talked about what you did in practice and what you do for your workouts, to be ready for those moments. And so you were feeling good.
Yeah, dude. That's honestly, I get it in my head. I'm like, this is that feeling. It's not abnormal to me. Like, I know this feeling. Like, I've been in this feeling before. Like, you can keep going.
I was more tired on Wednesday.
I was way more tired on Wednesday than I am right now. Like, just you can get out there, get on the floor, and do what you need to do. Like, push through it. Like,
and it probably keeps it fun too, in that same regard, right? Like, I mean, fun is relative, but I mean, like, there's an ability to enjoy the moment because you're not exhausted.
Dude, the amount of locked in that you are in overtime, it's different than any other moments of the game. Like, you're so locked in. Like, you're so laser focused on each shift and each movement. It's really, like, quite incredible. It's kind of like, if I could play the whole game this way, they might not score a goal.
Right.
It's just it's almost too hard to, like, stay that focused.
Sure, of course,
all the time.
Well, and that's what I was sort of meaning and asking, if there was ever that moment when a lengthy overtime starts to happen, that there is that, like, almost natural relax.
Yeah, I guess so. Maybe, yeah.
But again, and maybe that's why you guys got the win, is because you guys didn't really feel it. And then, I mean, as a defender, and you see Josh come down and he does his jab step that he does, and just like is there what do you do in that game?
On Dane's goal?
Yeah.
On Dane, yeah. You said Josh. I was like, oh, fuck. What did Josh do?
Yeah. Well, I'm just, both of them, man, have just such incredible first steps. It's really unbelievable.
Yeah.
But Dane's goal, like, he's one-on-one with a defender, and like,
dude, it was so funny, because afterwards, because I don't know this stuff because I'm not on offense, but afterwards, Bucky was yelling to go, even though they had 20 seconds on the clock. Bucky recognized that they had him in a 2-man game with no help. Yeah. And he's yelling at Dane to go. And if you see Bucky comes up, it's called we call it a brush pick.
Yeah.
Brush picks, brings that top guy with him, so the low guy has to close the gap on Dane. And Dane just jab steps, gets to the middle. That kid fell into the corner. And the guy that was covering Bucky actually stepped up to Dane. So Dane had, like, wide open Bucky on the backside, just like the Joey Rez goal. Yeah. But Dane just steps down. He's just built for those moments, man. He just stepped down and fired that ball like that far side bouncer. And it's just it's so funny, right? Because that's where, like, there's no stat for what Bucky did there, but like, that doesn't happen without Bucky recognizing a situation and being on Dane to, like, go. And that's a lot of the times those overtimes are they're scored in sort of unsettled situations, right? So good on Bucky to recognize that, to take advantage of the sort of the change there. And man, he's such a smart player.
So a big 9-8 win that puts you guys to 8-6, and I mean, you didn't get the help in Toronto and Georgia, but I mean, a win is a win, and so you're not, as we talked about, you're not looking at that loss column with another one there. Does the win did it gloss over or hide some of the things that maybe were troubling in those first 3.5 quarters?
Maybe. Just probably for the night, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, you win, and it's important to enjoy the wins as much as anything else, right? So, but it, come practice, we don't gloss over anything. They go through our game with a fine knit comb, man, and they just go through it. And JT, I'm sure, is going to be putting together a compilation of us turning the ball over.
Yeah, sure.
I am 100% positive that we're going to watch about 20 clips of us throwing the ball away or almost throwing the ball away or getting into trouble on the boards and turning the ball over. It's going to be some rough moments, but they do a good job because it's like we need to see that stuff, but we also need to see what we did well, and then we need to see where we need to make improvements. And yeah, I don't know. It'll be
so on the other side of that, like, had you guys come out and lost, obviously it's a lot easier to look at the things that went wrong in those first 3.5 quarters and stuff like that. So like a team like San Diego fighting for their lives and stuff, they held the defending champs to 9 goals. Like they lost, and that comeback that comes on them, but I mean, they played pretty rock solid, right? Like, if you talk about a recipe to beat the defending champions, hold them to 3 through 3 quarters.
Dude, there's some like San Diego, us, there's a couple teams that are like maybe not and shouldn't be in the positions we should be in, right? And it's like Saskatchewan and Colorado and Vancouver just came out of the gate so quick. They won all those early games, right? But it's like, when you think about it, it's even more tight than the standings even show. Even though the standings are tight, it's like 4 through 10 are all like within a game or two of each other.
Yep.
Right. But it's like, when you think about the quality of team, it's like, I don't know, San Diego all the way to the top. Like, San Diego can beat any one of those teams. Sure. Right. So they're a good squad, man. They're built pretty well. And I don't know. It's just like Dane said, we just came out on top of this one. Yeah,
just got the win. And so that win was a big one. And we talked about there was a few other games that were pretty big comebacks, and one was almost historic in nature. Halifax scoring 10 goals in the fourth quarter. Have you ever been a part of a game where, like, it's been that? Like, I know you've been part of so many games, but, like, 10 goals in one quarter?
I don't think 10. I think I've seen 8. But like 10, dude, 10's crazy. But that goes. We have this conversation all the time with us in Buffalo, where it's like we come out of the gate and we'll score 8 goals or 9 goals in the first half, and then like 3 goals in the second half. And it's like, well, what happens? How does the foot come off the gas? And it's like, it just happens, man. It happens everywhere. Like Georgia was up. What? They were probably up like 8 goals at some point.
They were up 9.
9. There you go. Like, and it's just. You're never out of it in lacrosse, man. That's the crazy thing about it.
It really is, and it's really something. But so to come back, like if you, I mean, you guys are obviously super excited on the bench, and you scored those 4 goals in the last 5 minutes to tie it up. I mean, Halifax, they scored 7 goals in the last 5 minutes to tie it up.
Jazzed.
And then that goal goes in with 17 seconds left.
Goal, just a transition, man. I knew it was going to be transition too. Like. That's where Halifax struggles.
So their Achilles heel a little bit.
They struggle in that.
Especially if they've been given so much in the like.
They're so good. I think we kind of lost to them this year in the same sort of way, where we were up a bunch and they just stomped their way back. Like, I don't know, man. If I had that offense, if I had like Cody Jamieson on my team, I don't know if I'd put a goalie in that. I would just play 6-on-5 always, because like they just are so good at scoring 5-on-5, 6-on-5 goals. Yeah. Their Achilles heel is playing that transition game. Sure. Although they have Tarafanko on D that can run it. Like, they have good transition up, but like, how's their reverse transition? Like that Pedersen guy, like, how many times do you watch him just standing at the crease? Like, he will not run off. I'm like, Cody Jamieson beat you off the floor? Like, what's going on?
And again, so that goes back to what we talked a little bit about last week. How does that get instilled? Like Peterson he's a great player, great shooter, great stuff, but you can kind of see he hangs his head a little bit, right? Yeah. I don't know. I haven't watched too much this year, but certainly Mark Matthews' first year with the Rock, you kind of saw it, right? Like, just kind of like maybe upset with himself or whatever else it might be, just frustrated with the situation, but just not running hard off.
Yeah.
And that, I think, cost Toronto a few goals and maybe even a playoff spot, or at least like how do you as a captain, I think you're pretty fortunate that you don't have to address those kinds of things with your team, but that might is also then a testament to your captaincy.
I don't know. I think it's just the nature of our team. Like JT, I guess honestly, it probably comes down to JT. Like we had a championship roster team in 2019 that he blew up because those guys weren't all running off the floor.
Sure.
Shawnee Evans and Corey Small and these guys. And he's like, we need, Durston was on that team too. It's like, you guys are unbelievably talented, but we need athleticism. He's like, I'll take an athlete that with less talent than a talented guy that's not going to run off the floor. So that's like become his MO. So then you have guys like Josh and Dane and Bucky and Dahoka and, you know, Clay, like Mickey, like our whole offense, everybody sprints.
Well, man,
like we do not lose reverse transition. Like it's like if they get a transition opportunity going the other way, like it is the cardinal sin on our bench that happened. Like, and that's just become instilled in our I don't know, like.
So will that goal, the Steinhaus goal, then be highlighted in this week's tapes? Because
for sure, what will happen is we'll try to figure out why that happened.
Yeah.
Because it's not like a lack of hustle or athleticism or anything, and it's not going to be somebody being lazy. But what they'll see is like, okay, if you carry high, and normally Dane stays high for an outlet, but maybe Dane went low backside, and then Josh passed it and went through the middle, and then there's a turnover. Now we have 4 guys deep.
Right.
And it's like, okay, so that's how we got there. And it's like, okay, when we run this play, we need to make sure that we keep Dane high or something. At least have somebody covering.
So it wasn't just because you guys wanted to see Ari score a goal.
Oh, he's so good. He's so tall, dude. He's like my height. I'm like, oh my gosh, man. I remember when you were a baby.
You've been around that long, eh?
Yeah,
It's
actually.
250 games.
250, dude. Let's go.
What a boy, Cap. Like that is that's really something special. And I mean, so do they do anything for you?
Nothing. Not a thing.
No.
Didn't even know. They told me though before. And then we were all like, I wonder how many games Vino's played. I wonder how many games Paulie's played.
Well, they made a nice Facebook post for you.
Totally.
You're standing there and it's got 250. But no, I mean, that's really something. And when you came into the league, did you have any sort of like games played goals in mind?
Not. I honestly, dude, when I came into the league, I was just trying to stay in the league.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
And then once you realized, like, so let's go fast forward a few years and they put the C on your chest. Are you like, yeah, I'm going to be captain for the next 10 years?
I don't know. It's weird. Okay, so let's frame it this way. We were talking about like what amount of years or games played or whatever is considered like above average career, like a pretty good career.
Sure.
Like what is that in the NLL?
Yeah, because again, the first 15 years of the league, it was 8 to 12 games a season kind of thing, right?
Yeah, but like JT played like 20 whatever seasons.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like that's obviously a long career. Like Vino's in 21 seasons or whatever. Paulie's been playing a lot. I don't know what number he's in, but like these are exceptional lengths.
Yeah.
But like it's not realistic. Like so what's an exceptional number? Maybe 10 years?
Yep.
12 years? If you play 12 years in the league at a high level, like you should be considered as like
an all-time great.
Well, I wouldn't say all-time great, but it'd be like that's like you matter in those stats of I don't know. I'm getting off track a little bit.
That's all right.
If you play like 12 years, you should be that's considered a good season. Like, dude, you had a great career. Like that's a great career. If you play 8 seasons or something, it's like, oh, dude, why did they get cut short? Either you weren't good enough to continue, or injuries, or whatever.
Sure.
So it's probably, let's say 8 to 12 years, right? And I think about this a lot, where it's like, when should people be considered to be like great? Like if you have 2 good seasons and 12 bad seasons, like is that guy great? But no, they were just the MVP 2 years in a row, but they really did nothing for 10 seasons.
Right.
Which probably isn't the reality. That's obviously it's extreme.
Yeah. It's not relatively speaking to maybe those 2 years that stand up above everything else, and those other 10 years were kind of like, well, he was third option, right? Kind of had third option numbers.
Yeah,
which is, hey, that's still a career, right? But it's not an all-star career. It's not an all-time great career.
Well, it's relative too, because it's like you look like someone like Kyle Buchanan. I'm like, man, I would love to see him get recognized this year for something on the league, because he is so smart and he's so good and he just cares. he takes care of our team so much, man. Like he's always in the chat, like, hey, we got to start collecting money because we every year we collect money and give it to like the training staff and stuff like that, right? Like so. Like once a trip, we'll just take all our per diems and then divide it up amongst like the training staff, and like it's just a little gift we can give to them. And he organizes that stuff, and he's the one that's like making sure that the flights are all good, and he's checking all these things. And then he does something on the floor like he's been doing this season. You know, some games he has 4 goals. And
is that role formalized on the team of him being like? Is he like, I don't know, like the
dad?
Yeah, but like social director or like?
It's just his personality.
Yeah,
man.
Sure.
Who
did it before he arrived?
I don't know. I don't think it happened. I think we would just be like, oh man, this is a shitty flight, or what time? Why is this dinner now? He just dealt with like the weirdness of it all, and he's the one that like recognizes that, hey, this doesn't actually all work. And then it's like he'll talk to Scott, and Scott will be like, oh yeah, okay, you guys actually want this? I can switch it around and do whatever you need to do.
Right.
So he's really good for stuff like that, right? Anyways, but his playing, like he's had a long career. He's had multiple championships.
Yep.
He's just this like incredible. He's an incredible offensive player, man. He really is great, and he's an incredible teammate, right? He gets those. I guess he gets recognized as like teammate of the year and things like that. But I would say
sometimes it always feels just not enough, right?
I would say Bucky's probably normally most of his career probably a second, at least a second or third option on an offense.
Yeah,
but he does all that other stuff. I would say he's had a great career
for sure.
Right, so it's like yeah, because he's had longevity and he's had success at a high level for a long period of time. I think that's really cool. So there's a lot of guys that I'm interested to see how they go. Like we talk about Matt Hossack, and it's like incredible defensive year last year. He's having another great one this year. Like, you know, he needs to string together a lot of years at the top of his game, being considered in that top echelon of defensemen, for me to consider him as like a great, like a,
sure.
You know what I mean?
And that's what gets so hard, because you do get recency bias, right? Because you want to believe that certainly the lacrosse that's being played now versus even in JT's prime is a lot different, a lot harder, like a better brand of lacrosse. But then to try to compare greatness, like, well, what would a JT have been had he been able to dedicate his life to the sport the way that Dane and Josh have been able to, right? Like,
or to just offense, like
or just offense.
Like, imagine him playing in the era of just offense. Like we only saw probably 10 years of that at the end of his career, but like,
which is what extended his career in some respects,
probably,
right?
Like the guy was up. The guy played offense, defense, fought everything.
Really something.
But everybody,
else.
all of those guys did. Darius Kilgore was like he was the best ever at all positions. If you had to take in all positions on the floor and who was the best that played them all, it's like probably Darius.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that's probably.
You could just put him anywhere and not worry.
Just put him anywhere and not worry. He took faceoffs. He fought. He played defense. Played offense. Like he was incredible. Like.
Do those old guys lament the loss of sort of that kind of player?
I don't know. I don't know. It's kind of. I think it's swung back enough that like having guys like McKay and like these transition players that can play both ends of the floor, like at least involved in the game. Yeah. Because it got really heavily like offense, defense, like, you know.
To the point that there was no transition.
It was like holy crap, how'd you get a breakaway? You would run up the floor. Yeah. Like it's so like having now we have offensive specialists, defensive specialists, and then everything in between. Yeah. I think that's sort of like that happy medium, and I think, you know, guys that can play both ways or enjoy that aspect of the game.
Sure. And so you guys come out 8-6. You climbed up a little bit on the standings, and so you got a big game coming up against the top of the table Rush. But before we get to that, I think we stick along the lines of here with 4 weeks to go. People are starting to obviously get juggling in there for their playoff positions, but now you also start thinking about individual awards, and it's always something that's interesting in the NLL because of that offense-defense thing. And we heard Victor Wembanyama, the NBA All-Star there, talking about the reason why he should be the NBA's MVP. And one, I like that simply because a breath of fresh air. It's rare when you see someone talk about why they should be considered the best, to do it so thoughtfully, right? It's not just bluster. Yeah. And he had some really good things to say. So he kind of said that, like, well, 50% of the game in the NBA is defense, and that doesn't get talked about very much. What would it take to get a defensive player in the NLL to be in that conversation for MVP? Because you do have Defensive Player of the Year, but you also have Offensive Player of the Year.
I was going to say the first step they did was they brought in Offensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
Right? And it was always, from 90% of my career, it was Defensive Player of the Year, MVP.
Right.
There was no Offensive Player of the Year. So I'm happy they did that. I don't know, man. It's got to be like some of those years, maybe like that Hasek had. Like those years where he's like got 10, 12 goals. He leads the league in caused turnovers, right? He gets that Defensive Player of the Year. You know, he could have been, I think, MVP some of those years.
Sure.
I think those are sort of easy ones, but like we were saying before, though, that it's hard to decide based off of stats, especially in a league where we don't review stats. So it's like we review goals and assists, but then they don't look at the rest of the things. So it's how much can you really trust those? You have to take it with a grain of salt, right? So I think you need to look at like Victor Wembanyama was saying, it's you have to look at other aspects of the season, right? He said 50% of the basketball is played on the defensive end. You know, that's not true for lacrosse, but it's like it's kind of true. It's like, you know, if Josh plays 90% of the time on offense, like he does play defense sometimes. He does have to run back. Like how does he do in reverse transition? Like that needs to be taken into account. Same thing going the other way.
Right.
You know, you play 90% of your time on defense. You lead the league in cause turnovers and loose balls and all these things. But do you add other aspects of either good decision making transition or any sort of things like that? He also talked about how his team matches up against
OKC. So they went 4-1 against OKC in the season. He was talking about how they swept them when it was the best on best.
I think that matters too, man. I think it's like, so you think about who's in the MVP race, and it's like, how do you do when you play each other? Who elevates their game to the next level? Right. You know, you go when you see someone like Zach Currier who gets all of these loose balls, and you see Snoozy go like, this is going to be my game for loose balls, and he puts up 20. Like he just got another level to him of like, I can't let Currier out loose ball me. Like that matters, man.
Well, and then like again, a guy that's been in the MVP conversation lots, Dane Smith, right? Like putting the team on his shoulders for those last. How do you 2
do
minutes?
In those big moments? Are you scoring the overtime winners? Like that stuff matters, man. That matters quite a bit. What was the third thing?
And so then the third one was he talked about like your impact on offense is more than just points.
Yes.
Right. And so I think we attributed it to like, here's a guy that's getting double and triple teamed even when he doesn't have the ball.
Yeah.
So what does that mean for his teammates and their ease at being able to score the ball in the basket?
Yeah.
You take a look at, again, a Josh and a Dane and the attention that they draw, and then what that has meant for Tehoka and for Bucky, and now for who's the Magic Man that scores?
Oh, Scanlon.
Scanlon scores
the
more
Magic
goals.
Man. I love it.
Well,
but
his hands
it's
are
true
just
though.
so quick.
It's so true because you sit there saying like Josh gets locked off on the 6-on-5 all the time. He's always getting locked off, right? So that ball has to go into Tehoka in the middle there, and he has to score that. And we trust Tehoka to score that, like he did in this past game. But Josh is going to get no credit for being the guy that gets locked off,
right?
So that's kind of like an interesting thought too, right? That's just sort of back to that Wembanyama thing of the offense is more than just points. It's how do you, at least in lacrosse, how do you set picks for other people? How do you get other guys open? How do you come back to the ball and break out? Like time with the ball is, I think, important. And on defense, it's, we talk about things. It's like, we always say the thing of there's no stat for good decisions, but it's also like there could be more stats of slides and like the easy one is that 30-second violations and things like that, right? And just make contacts with the ball. Like in hockey, they count hits. If you have the puck and you get hit, that counts as a hit. How many contacts do you make with a guy that has the ball? Like it'd be too hard of a stat to track.
Well, that's what I think I love about lacrosse, right? Like, I mean, I think there is that opportunity for sort of like the smell test, the eyeball test to carry a little bit more weight. I think it could be like that in the NFL, except for every single moment and second is scripted and parsed, and they've got stats coming out of everywhere. But that also makes it accessible to anybody that has access to a spreadsheet could figure something out.
Yeah.
Whereas what I like about, again, the creator's game, right? It's the creativity of the lacrosse, how it sort of moves in that moment and flows in that moment. Like to be able to, that was a good decision.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I think And that's where I think, again, when we talk about MVPs and that, it's more complicated than just pure statistics. But I think there's a real opportunity for lacrosse to then really distance itself and say, no, well, it's not just about the statistics. Like, this is the guy that is universally recognized as a difference maker. This is a Lyle Thompson.
That's a good word, difference maker. I love that. Yeah.
Like, and again, I mean, yeah, Dane and Josh, they do things that show up on the stat sheets, but they do so many other things. Like you've talked about in their ways that brought you guys those championships is their pressure on penalty kills to like not allow
get the ball back and don't allow it to get over half. Yeah,
right. Like just those kinds of things.
How they reverse transition, how they sprint back on defense, man. Well, like our whole offense does really.
Well, they really do, and I've missed it when we were talking about it before. But like my boys, obviously the big fans of obviously most of the Bandits, all the Bandits, but like they really Tehoka. They just love the way that he plays and just. But he takes these shots to the head. He's down on the floor, and he just pops up, and it's a sprint. And you see him; he passes three defenders almost every single time.
Because it matters, man.
Like, and it's just such again difference maker, right? Like, and that's where I think what has set the Bandits apart for the last 3 years, the last 5 years, is the number of difference makers that you have on the team to like make it easier for everybody. Right, like a total team thing, and so you guys are feeling good, right?
That's just I love where that went because that's so interesting to me. It's like how do you get this more known out there, and I think just more people watching lacrosse. Like it's hard because the people that are making the decisions, like, are they watching every game? Right. Like, I don't know. That'd be kind of a big ask, right? But it's like.
But it is getting easier because you do have guys that watch every single game in the NFL. Yeah. Right. Because it is only once a week. It's really hard in the NHL because there's 82 games across 30 teams.
Can't watch them all.
Can't watch them all. Right. So
but lacrosse, you could.
But you could. Maybe not every single moment of every game, but like you can watch the highlights.
Watch the big games.
Yeah, and you can watch the moments. You can watch something that just gets identified as a big play.
And the more we get announcers that are like full-time announcers and color commentaries and things like that, they can really talk about those aspects of the game that are like off-ball things, and you know, I'm noticing a lot of stuff online too, like box lacrosse breakdown and like all these different guys that are taking the game and breaking it down and being like, look how guys move, and I think we're doing last year we did probably a better job of it, but it's like, how does the game break down? How do we have different looks here? Like, what are the nuances of the game that don't necessarily get picked up because people are so focused on? It's really easy in lacrosse to follow the ball.
Right.
When I do video for defense, like I find myself a lot of times like watching the other team with the ball. I'm like, no, I need to be watching our defense. And like, it's really easy to get drawn onto that. Right. So I don't know, the more we talk about it, the more we come up with other solutions of like, how do we get more stats and more accurate stats and get people then honestly, then, you know, it really happens with all that is then you bring in gambling and betting. And now you have actual money lines, and you have like people that it's like, it's more looked at. Now it's gone over tooth and nail because, you know, the bookies don't want to get roasted. Right. And it's like, and you know, and then you really get a full aspect of like players and teams and, you know, plus minuses and all that stuff. It grows and grows and grows.
Yeah. And we're trying to do our little part here in our little corner of the world. It's -8 outside. We're back in the log cabin. And here in March, first day of spring up here, I had my snowblower out. We got -16 coming up on the weekend. But you're not going to feel that because you're going to be out in Saskatchewan where it's going to be a balmy -13. Saskatchewan in March. Obviously a big game. They're at the top of the table. You guys don't want another loss on the loss column, but with all the fighting that you've gotten or done to get to this point, is this a potential trap game for you guys?
I don't think so, man. I think we're more worried about this game than any of the other games so far. Sask is a tough game to win. You know, we have to be dialed. We have to be focused. I think that we got the trap games out of the way early.
Yeah. And you fell right through them.
Yeah, exactly. We got trapped ourselves. So, yeah. I think that the guys are going to be pretty locked in for this one. Does maybe, I mean,
stealing the game in San Diego, does that help a little bit? You guys kind of know that we kind of like, woohoo, we got out. Let's get out of San Diego. We didn't really deserve it, but we got out of there.
Let's grab the win and get out of there and get refocused. Basically, like that could have been the trap game, right?
Yeah.
Sunshine, and we're all down there, and I got friends flying in and all this, and that was JT's messaging most of the time too. Was like we all have friends here, we all have families here, and it's important that they are here for us, but we need to stay focused and stay locked into this game, right?
And as we've talked about before, as soon as you start saying that,
you're already not focused. Your shirt's already off. You're already playing catch and
you're wondering where the sunscreen is. And didn't I pack sunscreen?
I'm telling you, man, the sun hitting your skin was like it was like, I don't know, like a fresh breath of air when you're coming up from under a pool or something. Like it just felt so good, man. Like holy moly, where has this been?
Well, you might get a little bit of sunshine out in Sask, but you're not going to be getting the warmth.
No, I'm bringing a coat.
And so, this is a team that you guys, it was a big win. You needed the win on Bandits' floor. And so now you're going out to theirs and their ugly green floor.
Dude, it hurts my eyes.
What are they looking to do? Because they're not stumbling, but they're not roasting the league like they were at the beginning.
Yeah,
and I would want to say it started with you guys.
Was it us or the week before?
Maybe it wasn't. Might have been the week before.
No, it might have been. It was us, and then the next game right after that against Roch, they lost to Roch, right?
Yeah.
So it was that weekend. Yeah, maybe the week before, but they are. I don't know, man. I feel like they're a good squad, but they kind of live and die by Frank Scigliano.
Sure, yeah.
So a lot of it depends on like how early you can get to him or how early you can break their defense. They are pretty aggressive. They're aggressive on their slides. They push out. You got it right there. What it was?
No, we're a little slow in the. So they had.
Oh, dude, they scored 21 goals against freaking Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And they beat Vancouver.
Yeah, so they lost to you guys, then they lost to Roch, and then they beat San Diego and lost to Toronto.
So really it's only like 3 of the last 4 they've lost. Which is big, but like it could be easily just a mindset blip.
Yeah.
Like 2 of them are in the same weekend, so you never know. And then I think they beat.
Is that credit to Toronto too?
Dude, San Diego, tough pounds, eh?
Man,
10-9 lost to Sask.
Well, that might be an interesting one to take a look at. Is like where San Diego.
How many 1-goal games they've lost this year? Like they easily could be freaking top of the league.
Yeah, and like even Halifax, right? 2 losses early to Sask, right? 10-9, and then 11-7. And they're going to be looking back on their season and just wishing they had one of those back. I would think.
Actually.
So it's still playoff mentality.
It is. It's honestly, you said it before, March to May. It has to be. That's the only mentality we have, man.
Yeah.
We have just too many people retiring next year. It's our last freaking go at it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so
we'll be good in the future still. Don't get me wrong, but it's like anytime there's like glimpses of people maybe retiring in the future, it's you reflect on yourself and you reflect on everything too, and it's just our time together. It's super important, right? It's super important to cherish these moments and do something great, do something that's never been done before.
Yeah, man, that's really, really something. And so it is Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, out in Saskatchewan. What do we call it? Do you guys call the arena anything, or when you travel out to Saskatchewan?
SaskTel Center.
SaskTel, yeah, but
something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
is there like a name like the Loud House?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
No. Okay. Well, you're going to be out in Saskatchewan, and so you're going to be looking to stay warm, and the Bandits want to stay hot. Banditland. I've even seen there's going to be some people traveling out, as Banditland always travels really well, and you'll be able to catch that game on all the usual spots: NLL Plus, ESPN Plus, the radio in Buffalo, probably WG23, Johnny Gertler, TSN Plus, all of the good stuff.
Right on.
4 games left. The March to May is truly on, and so stick around. We'll be back. This was a long one. Look, it must be March break around here. We got all the time in the world.
I know, actually. It's funny that you said the 4 games left, because once I found out I did 250 games,
right?
Then I was looking at it like, well, who's ahead of me for like all-time games played in Buffalo? And there's 2 guys ahead of me. Can you guess them?
So Johnny Tavares.
Tavares is 306.
Okay. So that's what's that? That's 4 more seasons.
Yeah, I think honestly like 3.
Maybe 3. Yeah. I teach grade 8 math.
Math on camera. And there's one guy ahead of me. Any guesses?
One guy ahead of you.
We talked about him in this podcast.
Would it be Kilgore?
No, he didn't play enough.
Okay.
Mark Stanos.
Okay, Stanos, yeah.
254.
Oh, there you go. So you'll be tied with him.
Tied with him at the end of the season. Knock on wood, as long as I play all the season, all the games.
Yeah, that's stay healthy and stay after it. And so so we've got 4 more weeks of this for sure. We'll try to keep you going through the playoffs. It can be a tough one because it gets real busy with a couple games per week. But stay with us. We really appreciate you listening in and sticking with us. And as always, if you've got questions or anything like that, throw them in the comments. You can catch us on wherever you listen to your podcasts, but I think mostly just on what are we on? We're on YouTube.
YouTube and Spotify.
Yeah, but we're on your YouTube channel, Steve Priolo's YouTube channel.
Yeah, if you type in, I make it so you can type in Dinner with the Captain, you can type in Steve Priolo Lacrosse, you can type in anything like that, and it'll come up.
And we turn up. And then you can even go back and listen to some of the previous episodes when we were breaking down the game a little bit more like last year. All right, well, hopefully when we come back next week, we're talking about another big win out in Saskatchewan and getting ourselves ready for the last 3 games of the season.
Right.
Go Bandits.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you.